Water, we all need it, but are bottles the best way? See a solution and how we've improved upon our initial strategy by installing a Beech Lane 2-stage filter.
The first issue we had was weight. Water is heavy. How heavy, you ask? Well, we did some quick math based on our family of 5 going on a 3-day trip. Assuming the recommended 8 glasses of water a day, we would need approximately 120 8-ounce bottles, or the equivalent of 7.5 gallons of water. At 8+ pounds per gallon, this meant on average we needed to take 63 pounds of water with us. That's a whole lot of water.
We also had to keep this cold, and although we had a separate ice box, we always seemed to be shuffling water around to ensure we had cold water on hand.
Our final issue was that of taste and concern over the drinkability of the water at the campsites. We had been using one of the Camco Taste Pure filters, and while this did a fine job at removing large sediment, at 20 microns, it still left small particles and didn't help the taste. After seeing others with different water filter setups, we decided to look into the different options and what would work best for our family. We wanted to be able to drink the water from the tap, so we didn't need to carry water bottles while keeping the cost low. We considered both 2- and 3-stage filter systems, with some solutions running over $500. What we decided on was the Beech Lane 2-stage filtration system. When we purchased the unit last summer, it cost around $65. We also have continued to use the Camco Taste Pure filter, essentially creating a makeshift 3-stage water filter. This gives us water filtration at 20, 5, and 0.5 microns. What's a micron, you ask? Great question. A micron is the size of the particle that is allowed to pass through the filter. The smaller the number, the less particles in your water. However, you want to remove particles in stages so you don't clog the filters.
Our first attempt used 2 stainless steel S-hooks and some rope to hang the filter on the front of the camper. And while this did work, it had setup and teardown time and made the campsite feel a bit cluttered. Okay, so that is the Beech Lane water filter mounted now. And then the fresh water feed behind it. And we're gonna have to now get the adapters, but we're gonna simply just uncouple here and adapt over to the garden hose fittings. And we will have both the campsite water as well as the water tank filtered. Well, unfortunately, we found a few leaks. Like any good project, you always have to be prepared with an alternative option, and here we added a couple shutoffs and a service loop. Remember this from the other day? From one of the other projects, we had a rubber pad left. We ended up mounting this at the bottom of the filter just to add a buffer between the canisters and the camper wall itself. What we ended up with was the ability to have both the outside or city water and a fresh water tank filtered. We also added in a shutoff on the inlet and outlet side of the filter. This allows us to shut off the filter for things like filter changes and maintenance. Filter changes are fairly simple. The included wrench allows you to loosen the filter housing, and then you simply unscrew it and dump it out. You'll repeat this on the second side, insert new filters, and then tighten. Much easier to come off, a little bit looser already. This does bring up a good point. There is no pressure release valve on this canister, so it will be a little bit harder to break that suction on the first filter. However, once done, maintenance is very simple. I like to clean the threads on the housing before installing the canister again. Each canister has a spindle the new filter will line up on, and after this, you just simply install it again, which is as easy as lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Repeat these steps for the second filter. Turn the system back on, check for leaks, and you're done.
And now we leak test.
Overall, the things that we like about the water filter is that it saves weight and space. Another thing is that it's cost efficient. The water tastes and feels better. It saves time and effort when setting up the campsite. And finally, the unit has a solid build quality.
There isn't much we don't like about this water filter. As noted, there's no pressure relief valve, but this isn't really an issue, it just would be a nice to have. While not really a snore but a need to know, we want to point out that because there's exposed hosing and filters, the water will take on the air temperature around it. Simply run the water to get it cold, or, like we did, purchase an inexpensive ice maker. This has been a wonderful solution.
We really have enjoyed the Beech Lane 2-stage water filter, as it's well made, easy to use, saves time, and helps our water feel and taste better. These reasons and more made it easy for us to give it a s'more score of 4.5 out of 5, making it a budget-friendly RV must-have. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to stay up to date on our latest RV adventures, reviews, DIYs, and tips. From our family to yours, remember, keep on adventuring.